Well, it's the first work Monday of a new year, and the Liberals have wasted absolutely no time reviving and increasing their censorship agenda. So this is reports. This is the Hill Times. It is a newspaper in Ottawa, and the headline here reads as follows: Ottawa set to revive online harms legislation in 2026. So this headline, and of course the guy peeking up here in the header is Justice Minister Sean Fraser. This, of course, Sean Fraser was the person who let in close to 1 million temporary foreign students in a very short period. But the thing here is that he has committed to reviving the Liberals' draconian censorship legislation. Now, for those of you who have been following, you'll know that this is in addition to the criminalization of religious belief bill, this amendment that the Liberals had put forward in December, which Conservatives, including my colleague Andrew Lawton, fought tooth and nail until the House rose to prevent this amendment from passing. But this is new. This is the Liberals saying that they are going to reintroduce their censorship bills. Folks, this is real. The Liberals are going to try and pass this legislation because they don't want to be challenged. They don't want to be held to account. And we know that their agenda over the last decade has been to erode civil liberties and prevent people and critics from speaking out against the government. This is why you had Bill C-11, Bill C-18. It's why on certain platforms you can't see a major source of problems for Canadians in the new year. And I want to ask you this. If you could please click on the link that's in the comments as well as in the video description, because I write about these censorship legislations in a way that is not typically, and also, frankly, I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to talk to you through some of these platforms. What the Liberals proposed the last 2 times they have put forward this legislation, and again, Conservatives had successfully stopped that legislation in the last 2 minority parliaments, but the Liberals are trying again now, is like this bill was so draconian. It set up a $200 million plus censorship bureaucracy, similar to the one like they have in the United Kingdom. And in the United Kingdom, you guys have seen what's happened there. People who have been arrested and charged with all sorts of problems just for tweeting online, right? It's draconian and to shut down critical thought in the country. So I want to ask you this: as I'm getting more information about what this bill is going to look like, what Conservatives are going to have to fight, can you do 2 things for me? Can you share this video so that people know that this is coming down the pipe? This is something that Conservatives are going to have to fight this year. And can you also click on the link that's in the comments and click subscribe so that I can directly communicate with you. I think it's really important that in this upcoming year, as the Liberals try to continue to push their censorship agenda through the religious belief criminalization amendment, as well as this new online harms legislation, that people like me have the ability to directly communicate with you. The link that's in the comments allows me to send you an email from time to time, and it also lets you go through my archives of content. I've written extensively about the government censorship legislation as part of my job as a member of parliament, to communicate with you and let you know what the government's doing, but also prevent these things from passing. Now, Conservatives have stopped this legislation in the past, but they're trying again. This is the 3rd time the Liberals are going to try and implement this type of draconian legislation that would put a chill on speech. And it's not just Conservatives saying this. The last time the Liberals tried to introduce this legislation, noted Canadian author Margaret Atwood called the legislation draconian. And, you know, Margaret Atwood's not known for being a partisan conservative by any stretch. So, you know, it just goes to show that people across the political spectrum, groups across the political spectrum, have oppose this legislation. And folks, I need you to stay in touch with me this year so that I can tell you what's happening in case this legislation passes. So click on the link that's in the comments, click subscribe. It's free. It lets you go through my archive of content. And it also lets me tell you what Conservatives are doing. The last thing I'm going to say is this: the Liberals passed in order to keep Canadians safe online. Well, that's hogwash, because what the Liberals try to do with this is they try to say that you need to sacrifice your civil liberties in order to be safe online. The reality is that conservatives, myself, I wrote a completely different bill that would protect, for example, children online with common sense approaches that many conservative civil liberties groups have been like, yeah, this makes sense, without putting in place a censorship bureaucracy that would put a chill on free speech, on political conversation, whatever. So the liberals are going to try this year, get you to believe, the public to believe, that they need draconian, that the liberals need to impose draconian censorship legislation, bills like this amendment in Bill C9, which would criminalize religious belief in order for Canadians to be safe. And that's not right. The liberals have a catch and release bail policy after 10 years. They have not enforced existing laws. There's all these things that the liberals have done to allow, for example, hate. But now they want to say that law-abiding Canadian citizens should have to have restrictions on their legally and charter-allowed speech in order to be safe. And that's just not right. So again, this is really critical, folks. Click on the link that's in the comments. Click on the link. Click subscribe, because this is something I'm going to be writing about extensively this year, especially as conservatives work hard to fight against both the criminalization of religious belief amendment, but also this new censorship legislation that, again, I'll just show you again. They say here, Ottawa set to revive online harms, and that's code for their censorship bill in the upcoming year. So as you click subscribe, and I'm going to have a lot of writing for you on that. And also, if you have a minute, you can go through the archives there. You can search the word censorship. There's a tremendous amount of articles and information that I've brought to you on this debate in Parliament, so that you can understand what the history of it has been, as sounds like we're going to go into it again this year. If you have a minute too, and you do live in a riding where there is a Liberal MP who is an incumbent, take an opportunity to give their office a call and just say, I don't support censorship legislation. Stop doing this. The Conservatives have a bill on the floor of the House of Commons right now. I tabled it last year, that the Liberals could pass today that would strengthen, for example, part of my bill is ensuring that if somebody uses artificial intelligence to create a very accurate deep nude of somebody, let's say being sexually assaulted, that the existing laws around the non-consensual distribution of intimate images that are already on the books would apply to artificially images that are realistic, that are generated by artificial intelligence. Common sense things that everybody would agree to across the political spectrum, but the Liberals don't want to support that. They want click, share, and stay tuned as Conservatives get set to continue to fight the Liberals' censorship agenda. Working hard for you.